Welcome, folks, to Junior and Junior. Uh, Happy 420 to all who celebrate. And here we are on a windy morning here in Superior, Wisconsin. Thank you for spending your morning with us. We got a stellar show on tap for all of you as we review the MLB, talk UMD Bulldogs hockey schedule reveal, and close out by reviewing 72 Seasons, the newest album from Metallica. Dale wants to kick us off with some breaking news that he just broke to me a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, so breaking news. I found this out like an hour ago too. We were both, I think, asleep at the time this was released. But the Oakland A's president Dave Kale has released a statement about a agreement they had purchased for a ballpark in Las Vegas. The statement says the A's have signed a binding agreement to purchase land for a future ballpark in Las Vegas. We realize this is a difficult day for Oakland fans and community. For more than 20 years, the A's have focused on securing a new home for the club and have invested unprecedented time and resources for the past 6 years to build a ballpark in Oakland, even with the support from fans, leaders at the city, county, and state level, and throughout the broader community. The process to build a new ballpark in Oakland had made little forward progress. For some time, we have made a strong and sincere effort to stay here. We recognize that this is a very hard to hear. We are disappointed that we have been unable to achieve our shared vision of a waterfront ballpark. As we shift our focus to Vegas, we will continue to share details about the next step. And then it says that sources confirmed to the Nevada Indy that the A's and the Red Rock Resorts are closing in on an agreement to construct a $1 billion baseball stadium north of Allegiant Stadium with the support of Governor Joe Lombardo. So even the Vegas governor or Nevada governor is on board for this to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas was destined to get a baseball team if it wasn't the A's. I know people are saying the MLB expansion was
Mhm.
on a hold up to see what happened with Vegas if the A's would be coming because if not, Vegas would be getting one of the expansion teams. I'm assuming two to go to 32.
Mhm.
But yeah, this solves it right here. The A's, like many have assumed the last couple of years, are
Yeah.
going to be headed to Vegas. That is, I mean, like it's huge news, but it feels like it was just destined to happen. So
Yep, and it is the tentative new stadium will be built west of the Strip on the former site of the Wild West Gambling Hall on Tropicana Avenue and Dean Martin Drive. Because if you look on that drive, T-Mobile Arena's on this side, and then if you go down the road, Allegiant Stadium's on that side. So it is with the vicinity of all the other two major sports franchises.
yeah, that's smart positioning.
Hmm.
Um,
But to be honest with you, if you don't mind, like it's just sad to think of like they started off in Philadelphia, they end up moving to Kansas City, moved to Oakland, now they moved to Vegas. They are the most moved team in baseball. Like we were talking about this, not I don't think it was during a show. Can't
no,
remember if it was or not. I think we were just talking about it, but like it's just crazy to think how much they move. And like it seems like every 20, 30, 40 years they always seem to move.
yeah, yeah, they can't seem to stay in one position. Oakland might be their, or I mean, Vegas might be their home for good. They might end up back in Oakland. They might end up somewhere else. Who knows? Um, yeah, it's really odd because you don't see any other team move this much.
No. Yeah, and two, like, I just feel bad for the city of Oakland. I mean, you lost both the Raiders and the A's, both to Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah, that's rough.
And yeah, and I wonder if, like, if with the move, if it's going to be New Jersey creations or if they'll keep the same design and stuff, like color
Yeah,
wise and like,
yeah, I don't know. Hmm. That will
or
be
if they're going to
interesting to
do
see.
or unless they keep the Oakland Athletics like retired and build a whole new identity.
I'd be surprised. They've kept the Athletics everywhere. That'd be an interesting decision to stop being the A's now.
Hmm.
But we'll
Yeah.
have to see.
Yep. So yeah, I just thought I'd break that news because it came on my phone like I guess at like 11, but I was already sleeping by then. Like, but yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Didn't think
Hmm.
that this day would come. Um,
Nope.
it seemed like it was destined, but then it kept getting pushed off, and then yeah, it's
Yep.
it's real now.
Yep.
um, yeah, I suppose with that we get into the rest of the show, which
Hmm.
includes starting with the MLB.
Hmm.
Um, Phillies strike even for the last week. The Phillies started off last week, the 4-game weekend series on the road with the Cincinnati Reds. Didn't start too hot for the Titans as the Reds would open up things Thursday with a 6-2 victory. The Phillies would bounce back Friday 8-3 before getting smashed in a shutout 0-13. The series closed with the Phillies drawing a tie, responding with 14 of their own in a 14-3 victory before heading to Chicago. Things were set to kick off against the Sox Monday, but weather in the area led to a Tuesday doubleheader. Game 1 seen a Phil's victory 7-4 in a hard-fought battle before not having a fun time in Game 2, getting one hit and losing 0-3. The series closer and decider was competitive early before the Phils pulled into a 5-2 lead and both teams rode scoreless ball till the end.
Hmm.
Um, Phillies are currently 6 games back in the East and looking to find some 2022 magic to snap that early skid. It may be coming. Bryce Harper officially is able to slide. They're taking it. They're taking it with some caution here because if he does hit the elbow on a slide, it could lead to him being out 6 to 8 months more. So they just want to make sure everything is safe, everything is hunky dory before he officially steps on a baseball field again. But it's getting very close. We're not far out from May. The end of May was the original timeline we were probably looking at when he wasn't placed on this 60-day IL, and I'm thinking we're maybe talking a matter of 2 weeks. That would be my guess. And when Bryce Harper gets back, based on what this team has showed, well, 14 runs, 5 runs, 7 runs. If they can just get a little pitching rolling and the bats can stay consistent, because their biggest problem has been their pitching in a lot of games, outside of this one hitter against the White Sox. And so if the pitching can hold the runs down and the bats can continue to put up big numbers, they can easily turn the season around. It's not even May yet. Yeah, I think that the Phillies are not waving the white flag yet. They just gotta try and stay in things. And when Bryce Harper comes back, really get on a roll. And I think they can do it. With that, I'll hand it off to you, Dale, for your Brewers looking.
Yeah. So after losing the first series of the year to the Diamondbacks, they end up traveling to California to go face the San Diego Padres. And the first two games were kind of a slugfest. I mean, the first three games, but the first two games, Brewers won 4-3, 11-2, and then they ended up losing 10-3 to the Padres. I believe that was the game Woodruff ended up getting hurt in, so he is now timetables unknown. They're thinking maybe 2, 3 weeks, potentially longer, depending on how the serious extent of the injury is. Um, and then on that Sunday, the 16th, they ended up beating San Diego 1-0. And then they ended up traveling to Seattle, where they completed a 3-game sweep of the Mariners with scores of 7-3, 6-5, and 5-3. Yesterday, this game was an eventful one against Seattle. It was the top of the seventh. They had 2 hits going through, and they just absolutely unleashed with 5 runs in the seventh. And then they gave up a run in the bottom of the ninth, but that would hold the lead for the Brewers as they would end up winning 6 out of their last seven with a strong two and a half, a strong two game lead in the division over the Chicago Cubs. And the Brewers are sitting at 14-5. I think that second best, tied for the first best record in the National League. And yeah, I mean, Brewers right now, I know they're dealing with some injuries. Burns left early with some tightness, but they said he should be go for his next start. Um, Mitchell's on the IL, I believe, with a little bit of strain. Um, yeah, so injuries is kind of plaguing them at the moment. But there's guys that are stepping up. Yelich has been stepping up. He's been playing somewhat of okay baseball. But yeah, overall, Brewers still are looking good right now. They're playing together as a team, and yeah, they
Okay.
they then will. Yeah, they have an off day today, and then they'll start a homestand with facing the Boston Red Sox, and then the Detroit Tigers and the LA Angels before going back on the road.
Well, this team, the Twins, hey. Um, Twins, since we last engaged, have been in an East Coast trip set to conclude this afternoon with Game 3 against the Boston Red Sox. Before that, though, we need to talk about the 4 games with the Yankees and the first 2 with the Red Sox. Series with the evil empire of the Bronx started well for the Twins. They started off with a dominant 11-2 victory Thursday, wherein they put up 9 runs in just the first inning alone. Friday was a 4-3 victory. But from there, things went downhill. The Yankees took a controversial 1-6 game on Saturday on the back of Domingo Germán and a Garrett Cole masterclass 0-2 shutout Sunday to come away with a split series. Um, the Red Sox series, little bit of one that Twins fans and the Twins I can't speak for, but Twins fans were looking forward to because of the struggles the Red Sox have seen. But it didn't quite start off their way. They came into Boston and they lost the first game 4-5 before bouncing back last night with a 10-4 victory. And now they're going to look to close it off and win the series with today's 12:35 game. But we'll have to see before heading back home for a extended homestand for the next 3 series. But what I want to talk about a little bit more is that Domingo Germán game and all the controversy around it. When Germán took the field for the fourth, crew chief James Hoy appeared to tell Germán, "I told you to wipe it off. You have to wash your hands." Based on a substance on his hand that had originally been brought up when he left after the third. Rocco Baldelli, the Twins manager, would be ejected from the game after raising a protest on Germán being allowed to remain in the game after the prior warning and no action being taken. It appears the substance was simply too much rosin, a legal substance for use at correct levels. Germán would go on to throw 5 1/3 perfect innings before ultimately leaving the game after allowing just 3 hits and 1 run through 6 1/3 innings of work. Baladelli said he didn't think Germán cheated, saying their pitcher was warned or asked to clean his hand off of the rosin that was on his hand, because sometimes if you do use rosin, it can get especially tacky. He was warned. He didn't fully comply. I would say with the warning from what I was told, and was still allowed to keep pitching. I just don't agree with that in principle. Hoy would explain his position, saying, in that situation, it was like, this is not an ejectable offense, because we didn't feel it rose to foreign substance standards of affecting the flight, affecting his pitching. That's why we didn't eject him. Regardless, the Twins currently sit in first place in the AL Central, holding a 1.5 game lead over the Guardians. getting a little deja vu from last week. The only difference is this time around, the Twins are 11-7. So, yeah, I don't know. Fun time for the Twins, I guess. You had to go through two
Yeah.
tough pitching duels, and then you lose to the Red Sox. But
Hmm.
they're gonna bounce back today, and they bounced back the last night.
Well, speaking of illegal substances, yesterday Max Scherzer, fourth inning, got tossed, and as of right now, I believe he is suspended 10 games for,
Yeah.
I believe, the same use for rosin.
Mm-hmm.
You could see he was visibly upset because he was trying to explain to the I don't have anything. It's just rosin. So is I'm not really sure. You might know. Is there a rule that is there only a specific amount of rosin you can use?
Yes. Yes. It's they have to keep the levels down, otherwise, it well, like James Hoy kind of alluded to there. At a point, it basically becomes a foreign substance where it affects the flight of the ball,
Mm.
and yeah, they don't want that to happen. So you
So
do have to step in.
so I guess my question is, how come they just didn't give Scherzer a warning? They just
They did give Scherzer a warning.
oh
He
they
just
did.
didn't
Okay.
care. They
Oh
told him he couldn't use his glove anymore, and he threw a fit.
oh okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
they made him wash his hands twice, and they told him he couldn't use the glove anymore, and he refused and got ejected from the game. You know how Max Scherzer is. He's a little bit
Yeah.
of a grouch. He doesn't like when things don't go his way. He's notorious for throwing a little bit of a stink with this
Yeah.
substance
But
check stuff, taking his belt off, dropping his trowel on the field.
do you think his suspension will be held up?
Well, see, I don't know if he gets 10 games, but I could very well see it getting held up. Um, I don't see. I don't know what the precedent is on this. I don't know if we've
Hmm.
ever had this happen before, but to me, the way I look at it is he was warned. He was told you cannot have this much rosin. Cleaned his hands twice. They told him he can't have the glove, and he chose to be willingly ejected from the game, and that seems like that's on him. I would
Yeah.
think that the suspension has to be upheld. He refused to follow the rules.
Hmm. That's gonna hurt a lot of fantasy players too. I
Well,
feel like, I mean, 10 games worth.
yeah, but he really only pitches twice in that,
Yeah.
so it's you're only missing two starts.
Well, but is it so are
It's
they going to do
games.
10 games? Like, okay, games. Okay, I was going to say like starts would not make any sense. Like,
No, if it starts, he's out the rest of the year.
yeah.
Yeah, he'd essentially be a dead duck. But yeah, it's 10 games, so you miss two starts, and yeah, he essentially could pitch straight out of the suspension at that point because
Okay.
he's been so rested. But yeah, Scherzer, Herman, a lot of rosin use.
Hmm.
We'll have to keep an eye on that. Seems like that's the new thing for pitchers looking to get around these foreign substance rules. And like Baladelli said, it's perfectly legal. You just have
Hmm.
to moderate it, and if they're using too much, warn them. And if a warning is given out, you have to hold them to it and be willing to eject them from the game if they do choose to ignore your warning.
Yep.
Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
folks, with that, we will um, quickly run an ad break. When we come back, we will talk the UMD Bulldogs men's hockey schedule release as well as our album review. All right, folks, you're watching Junior and Junior live here on the Dogs Maniac Entertainment YouTube channel. You want all the Junior and Junior news? Head over to the Instagram _Junior and Junior _. Watch us live here every Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on the Dogs Maniac Entertainment YouTube channel. And check out the TikTok, Dogs Maniac Entertainment. folks. Jared and Dale will be right back in a second. Folks, we are back. Time to talk a little UMD Bulldogs hockey. Yeah, I thought college hockey wrapped up last week and everything with Quinnipiac winning the national championship, but no. The Bulldogs decided to release their schedule. The NCHC releasing the conference schedule, and then the Bulldogs at noon making the decision to drop their entire schedule for next season. So let's do a little talk about this, Dale. Let's do a little talk about this. All right, first of all, stunning schedule. I love it. I love every bit about it. I don't see a weak series on it that I'm not looking forward to seeing them play out. Outside of the conference, I mean, Miami's a weak schedule, but you can't avoid them. You have to pick up Miami. So let's just quickly run this down. I'm throwing it up here on screen for you guys so that you can see it. We'll run it down and then we'll get into individual series after. October 7th, Michigan Tech to start the year off at home. Also at home, we start with this a streak here at home before going on the road on a streak. October 13th and 14th, Northern Michigan come to town. October 20th, Bemidji State comes to town. Then October 21st, we go to Bemidji State. October 27th and 28th, Cornell, we're headed out there. We got a matchup out in New York. November 3rd, head down to the dreaded University of Minnesota Twin Cities before coming home November 4th to also face the Gophers. November 10th and 11th, home series with North Dakota. November 17th, 18th, road series with St. Cloud. December 1st and 2nd, home with Omaha. December 8th and 9th, go on the road with Miami. December 28th and 29th, UMD heads down to the Quick Trip Holiday Classic. So we can lament. UMD heads down to the Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off, where they'll be joined by Wisconsin, Northeastern, and Air Force, I believe. January 12th and 13th, they're back home as they take on Colorado College. January 19th and 20th, on the road with Western Michigan. January 26th and 27th, home with Miami. February 2nd and 3rd, on the road with Omaha. February 16th and 17th, home with Denver. And then February 23rd and 24th, on the road with North Dakota. March 1st and 2nd, on the road with Colorado College. And end the regular season at home, March 8th and 9th, with the St. Cloud State Huskies. So, folks, let's now break this down by series. Let's break down some of the important series. The first one I want to start with, the first one I want to talk about is that Week 2 series. I don't really care about anything to do with Michigan Tech. It's awesome to face an old WCHA foe, but I'm not really concerned with that. October 13th and 14th, Northern Michigan come to town as they decide that this is the time to finish out that series. UMD was on the road with Northern Michigan, I believe it was last season. So great to see that finished out. Northern Michigan, not a place for UMD Bulldogs Maniac, not a place for Jared, Marquette, they do not like me out there. Time to pay it back. Time to pay back the hospitality on home ice. As Northern Michigan heads here. You guys may not know I'm wanted. I'm wanted in Marquette. And if you would like to support that cause, you can head over to tpublic.com/UMD Dogs Maniac and get a shirt with my wanted poster on it. Then
They're fantastic. I mean, I'm thinking of buying one, so.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get one to wear when Northern Michigan comes to town. I'm definitely looking forward to giving them a little gruff. Didn't care about these guys, went out to Marquette, and now they are somebody that I consider very bitter rivals of me personally. Next series I want to talk about is that November 3rd and 4th home and home with the Gophers. You guys ever wanted to go watch a road game with UMD Bulldogs Maniac? I can tell you he will be in the Twin Cities at Marinucci November 3rd to watch the Bulldogs take on the Gophers. I'm just going to reiterate what I said on Instagram, and that's simply, hey Gophs, your worst nightmare just became a reality. You got a pissed off Bulldogs team coming to town, and they're followed by Dogs Maniac. It's going to be a rowdy night, looking to continue that streak of kicking the shit out of the Gophers like we like to do. And yeah. Then the next weekend, you got the November 10th and 11th game with North Dakota. And really the only thing about that series is that North Dakota was the non-home series last year. So great to see them back here in Duluth. And then the last one I want to talk about is that December 28th and 29th Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off down in Milwaukee with Wisconsin, Northeastern and Air Force. Another opportunity, if you want to watch a away game with me, I should be there. Dale? You?
I mean, it's Milwaukee, man.
Yeah, I thought we were under the understanding Dale would be there as well. Yeah. That's the plan right now. If so, live from Milwaukee, Junior and Junior that week, because that's a Thursday, Friday. So, yeah. At the very least, I should be live from Milwaukee. But it would be pretty cool if we could pregame outside of Pfizer Forum and do a live Junior and Junior. We'd have to figure out how to do that, but we got time. We got quite some time to figure out that. We still got to do the whole Philadelphia thing. Mm-hmm. So that'll really set us up for doing live shows on the road. But yeah, folks, that's the last series there that really jumped out at me. The rest is conference and everything, which is very normal. But yeah, looking forward to having the Gophers back on the schedule. Looking forward to that Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. And yeah, having Northern Michigan come to town and giving them a little shit, and then having North Dakota back in town. It's going to be a fun season next season, and we will really get into it in probably September, late September, early October, when this is really real. When it's really season time, and we'll get into it more in depth and talk about every other team's schedule. But for right now, it was just about the local D1 college. Mm-hmm. And with that, folks, we will just move on directly into the album review. No ad breaks needed, because I already did some advertisement for the t-shirts and everything and over on the TeePublic. So I'll throw a little more advertising live though. Head over to tpublic.com/UMDogsManiac. Pick up my wanted poster from Marquette. You can pick that up in a poster too. It's not just t-shirts, it's stickers, it's buttons, it's posters, flags. You can get any of these designs in pretty much anything you want and get them in a sweatshirt. You're not limited just to shirts. I know I advertise the shirts because the shirts are the big seller. Nothing else sells off there. But your options are open if you wanted to get other stuff. Pick up the Plant Pipeline. That's going to be perfect with Zam Plant coming to town. Max Plant following his brother soon. Might have to update it with Victor Plant, but not only is that Plant Pipeline shirt nice, it's approved by Zam and Max Plant. They have seen it. They like it. So why not you like it too, folks? The other shirts would just be the Welcome to the Dog Pound 2.0. The only people that have 1.0s are me, my brother, my dad, and my grandpa. UMD took down our 1.0 shirt. They didn't like Champ on it, but once Champ's gone, he's coming back on that. So you can just wait on that, folks, if you'd like a Champ on there. And yeah, that's oh, and then the Phil's Nation shirts, folks. The Philly, any Philly fans can pick up a Phil's Nation shirt. I got them Minnesota branch and Pennsylvania right now.
Hey, what you could do is you could take the new Champ Bulldog one that everybody hated, put that on your t-shirt.
Ah, fuck that. I wouldn't even touch him with a 10-foot pole. Unless I was beating him over the head with that 10-foot pole. Fucking
Isn't that like
angry-ass
one
Winnie the
game
Pooh.
too?
What?
Isn't that it was one game too, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't even one game. It was one day. One day. He didn't even get to go to a game. And everyone said, get that fucker out of here. He's so ugly. And they said, okay. Listen, we'll get a new champ next year, and we'll ask you guys. They're not going to ask me to be... I'm signed up to be on that committee. You think I'm going to get picked for that committee? No. They're going to pick people that are going to be yes-handing Gladmen. Glad-handing yes men who are just going to tell them what they want to hear, and they're going to just pick whatever mascot they want in the first place. It's not going to be a real diplomatic situation where we get to actually
I think they should they should keep the champ as the mascot, but their real mascot should just be a real bulldog.
Well, they should have a real bulldog, but what I said is if you want to go yellow, just make the goddamn costume you have right now yellow. It's that simple. Folks, we can't go on about this forever. Maybe we'll have a mascot week one week, and we'll talk about the virtues of mascots in sports, and we'll go on a rant about Champ. But right now, we got to talk about the album. So let me introduce this. This week on Junior and Junior, it's time to tackle a heavyweight of heavy metal as we talk 72 seasons from the legendary Metallica. Dale, it's the catchphrase, the floor is yours.
Well, my catchphrase is always going to keep it short and sweet. That's just how I roll. No, so where to begin? This is a long album. You know me in the past. I don't like long albums. I don't like 9-minute songs. Not a fan at all. But I must say this was an okay album. This was okay. I really liked Chasing Light, Room of Mirrors, and You Must Burn. Like, there's a couple songs that I like. There's a couple that I didn't. But no, overall, this is a solid album. I just didn't like the timing of it. Like, it only says it's an hour and 17 minutes long, but it feels like I listened to that thing for 4 hours and 15 minutes. Like, it was just way too long. So, for that reason, I'm going to have to give it a 6.5 out of 10. And yeah, hopefully the next one won't be as long.
Well, I can promise that because I know it's next up. But before we get to that, I'll give you guys what I have to say on the album. I'm just going to be clear straight off the bat to not lead anybody astray. I'm not the biggest Metallica fan. I enjoy some of their music, but this is by far the most I've actually listened to them in some time. In terms of the actual album, okay, with all that in mind, initial thoughts. Most songs are 2 to 3 minutes too long, and midway through the song, I'm thinking this song is bordering on repetitive and could go for a good ending right about now. One song is probably 4 to 7 minutes too long, and everyone who knows this album knows what I'm referring to. Yet, that's not really a shot at the song. It's more of a shot at the album, wearing my patience out by them, because I don't think that song was actually too bad. Um,
But
but
they
we're not.
kept going on repetitive though.
It did, but like I thought it worked. If the other
Hmm.
songs would have been for 3-4 minutes long, I think they could have been fine with an
Hmm.
11-minute song. But well, alas, all the other songs were fucking 7 minutes long, except for a few, and we'll actually talk about two that weren't. In terms of a favorite song, Lux Eterna isn't a bad song in terms of quality compared to the other 11, but based on 3 minutes and 25 seconds of each, it gets massive points for being shorter. It's the shortest song on the album. If you take a track example like 72 Seasons, the title track, it's 7.5 minutes long. And while it's one of my favorite on the album, it's way too long and would probably rate better at even 4 minutes long. Least favorite, on the other hand, didn't benefit from being shorter. Corona Barbed Wire had me thinking, fuck, this album is boring. And that's one of the shorter tracks on here. It's not saying great things about the album. Actually, Corona Barbed Wire was the first straight up X, representing an unlistenable song that I've given out since All I Wanted off of Avril Lavigne's Love Sucks Deluxe Edition all the way back on the December 16th show. My rating can't be too great based on this, so I'm going to go with a 5 out of 10. My lowest in quite some time, but not even close to the lowest of all time, which means they'll share. Metallica would be allowed back on the show, something I can't say for Slipknot back from that review. So,
Hmm.
yeah, we might see Metallica back here someday. Likely it would be because they released a new album and not because we were reviewing an old one, but who knows? But yeah, 5 out of 10 I think is a fair rating.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm not huge on Metallica, so yeah, if you're a big Metallica fan, you're gonna love this album. You're gonna love the long songs, but to me, I have to like a band to enjoy having a long song from them, and that's just not Metallica. They're not my favorite. I could do without listening to them, but
Hmm.
yeah, they do have a few good songs. I'm definitely not knocking them there, and I'm not going to get into my thoughts on any of the band members, but there's one balding, gremlin-looking fuck that I don't like. He plays the drums. The rest of them don't care about them. They're all good. They're all good. I not care about them in a bad way. They're all good. They all pass the test. The balding, gremlin-looking guy that plays the drums, got a big dislike for him. So yeah, and like that, we will never have Lars Ulrich on the show for an interview. Oh well. Next week on Junior and Junior, we talk Black Diamonds, the newest album as of a couple of days ago from Tracy Gunn's band, L.A. Guns, coming off of their resolution with everybody else to get the L.A. Guns name in house.
Before we conclude the show, I just want to mention I think we got a lot of stuff planned in the future. We've made a lot of phone calls, messages. We're still working details out. We're not going to say anything. We want it to be kind of a surprise. But there's going to be a lot of cool stuff, I feel like, heading our way on the show that you guys don't want to miss. So,
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming from the show.
hmm.
As soon as anything's made official, it'll be announced over on the Instagram.
Hmm.
Um, so if you wanted any reason to keep an eye on the Instagram, that's it right there. Anytime we can make something official, they'll be the first ones to know. There's no really good way to announce it on YouTube outside of the
Yeah.
community tab, and if you don't keep an eye on our community tab, you'll miss it. But yeah, we'll announce everything as soon as we can to you folks, and yeah, fun show. Gonna keep it under 40 minutes by concluding it here quickly.
Hmm.
Thank you everyone who tuned in. Thank you for spending your Thursday morning with us, and we will see you folks next week, right here, right again, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on the Dogs Maniac Entertainment YouTube channel. I've been Jared,
And I've been Dale.
and we will see you guys next time.